questa sera tantissime donne speciali, questa volta è la volta di Lucia Kaiser. Lucia, oh eccoci, Lucia, oh, I'm sorry, Lucia Kaiser, eccola qua, eccola con noi. Benvenuta Lucia. Allora, spiego un attimo, Lucia è una produttrice filantropa e relatrice vincitrice di 2 Emmy Award, inizia la carriera nel mondo dello spettacolo molto giovane e a soli 19 anni diventa la prima donna talent poker per il Johnny Carson Show. In questa occasione vogliamo ringraziare il fotografo dei set, Jeff Smith, che è qui presente. Grazie per essere con noi. Allora, io ho bisogno naturalmente di Daniela per intervistare la nostra Lucia Kaiser. Intanto le chiederemo, intanto ringraziamola a nome di tutte le donne per la sua visione avveniristica del ruolo della donna nel mondo dello spettacolo e della comunicazione, e le chiediamo come le è venuta l'idea di fondare la prima agenzia pubblicitaria tutta al femminile e se è stato, quanto può essere stato difficile.
Okay, hello Lucia. So first of all, we would like to thank you for your futuristic vision of the woman in the show business. So what we would like to ask you is, so how does it feel to be one of the first women to open a booking agency, a media agency for women and all female centered? How does it feel to be such a pioneer?
Well, before that, I was a pioneer. Some of my friends know. At 18 years old, I decided I couldn't sing. I wanted to be a dancer, but I didn't want to be a ballet dancer. I wanted to be a regular dancer. And I was on a dancer when I was 15, probably all too young, but I was actually one of the dancers on Hullabaloo. And I had idea I was 21, right? Anyway, long story short, I'm thinking, what could I do? And I'm kind of dating this cameraman that worked with Johnny Carson. And I somehow convinced him to get me an interview. I thought it would be directly with Johnny Carson, of course, because that's the way I think. Of course not. Just for those who don't know, I'm sure you all know, Johnny Carson at the time was the #1 talk show host in America. And to this day, I think his legend still goes on. I mean, Tonight Show, etc. So, long story short, the cameraman got me in, as in those days, it was like, I guess they call interns today, and it was like an apprentice, just to work at NBC. And I was fortunate to have the guts. Everyone says you have more. This is what Johnny Carson used to say. You have more balls and guts than anyone. I have to just say. But when I started, I was 18 and, doing trivia work. I was actually like the intern to the secretary, to the executive secretary to Johnny Carson. Long story short, I hate to say this, but in these days it's different. But in those days, if you didn't look good and wear high heel pumps, you're going nowhere. So fortunately, I kind of looked good and I had the heels on, and Carson kept walking back and forth and kind of like, oh, and he got like, oh, nice to meet you. Oh, nice to meet you, Mr. Carson. Can you promote me? Because I don't like this job. I didn't say that. But anyway, what ended up happening is I became the first woman at 18. Well, I was 18 when I was working for him, but in 9 months I became the first woman in management that booked the Johnny Carson show. So I booked it. And I have to tell you, I wasn't going to say this because I'm so glad you brought up, I thought of this when I was coming into the city. I actually was so obsessed with Maria Callas that I actually booked her because I wanted to meet her and have her on the show. And then what happened was I took a break. I went to the Caribbean for a few days to get some sun because that's why I lived in Hawaii for 23 years. And you won't believe that Maria Callas couldn't make the date that I booked. And I was in St. Croix or somewhere, Aruba. And they put her on remember Maria Callas. I was so upset, so that's why when I got this honor, I was so honored. And I thought, well, Maria, I wish you were here. But I wouldn't, you know, it was just, and even Johnny Carson was like, I saw the repeat of the show because they let me see it, of course, and he was like nervous around her. He was like, so I didn't get to meet her, but I was so honored that, you know, I booked, you know, the biggest stars at the time. So, and then Lucia Pavarotti. Okay. So Lucia Pavarotti, I lived in Hawaii. I met my husband, fell in love in Europe after I ran Bruce Lee's company in Hong Kong for 2 years. I don't know if you remember Enter the Dragon. Okay, well, I negotiated Enter the Dragon when I was in my early 20s with Warner Brothers, and I needed a vacation after that. You know, Bruce Lee was wonderful, but it was a very intense, you know, position. I was president of the company. Anyway, I was in Europe. And I fell in love with my husband, and we decided to move to Hawaii. It's too cold for me there, and too cold in Europe. So we go to Honolulu, and I decide, because I love Luciano Pavarotti, a big fan, that I was going to go after him, find his manager somehow, and bring him to Honolulu, which I got him to Honolulu. He had never been to Hawaii, and he, you know, of course, was his first and only concert, and first and only time he was there. The other one was Luciano Pavarotti. Who did I just say? I said Luciano Pavarotti, I'm sorry. But the other one was another opera singer, I'm sorry. But I have too many stories. That's my problem. I'm sorry. I'm fortunate right now that I know it's getting late, and I can tell you a lot of great stories. Hopefully you'll be looking for my movie. I've got some pretty interesting investors, and I'm looking forward to making my movie. I mean, you're not going to see anything for 2 years, if I'm lucky, right, Rita? Look at time.
Don't be lucky.
And don't ask me who's going to play me or my husband, because I have no idea. If you have some ideas, I'm going to talk to you.
J-Lo.
By the way, that's very funny. No, listen to this. I have to tell now.
J-Lo.
Hey, 25, you know that story, I think.
No, I just said it.
Okay. Well, whenever, I know who I'm going to mention is someone who's now persona non grata. But when I first came back to New York, my husband died tragically, that's why I left Hawaii. Came back to New York, and one of the first people I met was Puppy. He's now in prison, unfortunately. He wasn't, at the time, he was A-list. And what happened was he was dating J-Lo.
That's right.
And if any of you go on Lucia Kaiser on my website, you'll see the picture of J-Lo and I talking at the party when he was dating her. And she said she wanted to play me. But that was 20-something years ago. I need someone in the 18 to 20s now. But I would love, we got along really well. We became friends because of that person who's now in prison. Anyway, I shouldn't say that name. But anyway, I know you want me to go move on, right?
I have to translate that, yeah.
I'm so sorry.
No worries. I will have to make it a little bit shorter. But, quindi Lucia ci ha raccontato delle storie bellissime riguardo sicuramente al fatto che lei fosse una pioniera a 18 anni, perché è riuscita ad entrare al Johnny Carson Show, che è uno dei late show più importanti dell'America a quei tempi. E quello che ha fatto appunto è stato riuscire ad ottenere un apprendistato lì per lui, e poi piano piano è riuscita a fare una grande carriera, perché è diventata la prima donna a riuscire a fare la booking manager per il Johnny Carson Show. Quindi questo è un grandissimo un grandissimo successo di cui lei può vantare. E poi raccontava che ha sfiorato per proprio un pelino Maria Callas, perché è stata invitata allo show, purtroppo quando lei invece era fuori dall'America, però ha avuto anche l'opportunità di portare Luciano Pavarotti ad Honolulu, dove lei viveva, e portarlo lì ad esibirsi. Agency, quindi questi sono i suoi bellissimi traguardi e ci aspettiamo di vedere il suo film, perché sta realizzando un film sulla sua vita e ci chiedevamo che potesse interpretare lei e si diceva Jennifer Lopez.
I have to say one thing. She was such a good translator. And I also brought Baryshnikov to Hawaii.
Oh,
And yeah, that was quite something. And with the money I was intending to have a good school for children's ballet school. So I didn't make a dime, but I made money because I brought Baryshnikov. But it's also so true.
wow.
Ok.
I keep forgetting we have to be translated.
Procediamo, ok, con... ok.
Perfetto, bene.
E allora andiamo avanti con la nostra premiazione e consegna il premio alla straordinaria Lucia Kaiser, Antonio Fini. Prego. Ecco, Antonio Fini, ballerino, coreografo e produttore italiano, ma ormai newyorkese e americano. Leggiamo subito la motivazione.
Per il suo ruolo fondamentale come pioniera nella promozione delle donne nel settore dell'intrattenimento aziendale, per la sua brillante carriera, la sua capacità visionaria e innovativa nell'ambito cinematografico e televisivo, non da ultimo per il suo impegno nel panorama filantropico e sociopolitico dei nostri tempi. In recognition of her fundamental roles as a pioneer in promoting women in the corporate entertainment industry, for her brilliant career and visionary, innovative approach in the film and television industry, and not least for her commitment to the philanthropic and socio-political sphere of our times, Callas Tribute Prize 2025 goes to Lucia Kaiser. Thank you.
Grazie davvero per questo momento straordinario. Grazie davvero, grazie. Bene, allora Antonio, trattieniti un attimo con me perché volevo naturalmente presentarti al pubblico.